I think I'm slowly falling out of love with the fitness industry. I've been thinking about making a podcast for a while, and I've not thought about something I was going to speak about that I was truly on my mind that was worthy of you listening to. But today I feel I've got something to say that's worthy of you listening to me, essentially. And forgive me with the mic in my hand like this. I'm trying to be different, okay? Everyone's got them here. Also, I don't know if I can speak loud enough for it to reach, so I'm here to do something different. In terms of me falling out of love with the fitness industry very slowly, I don't know if that's the right wording or not, but my story started when I was 14 years old. My mum got me a job in a Virgin Active gym. I worked in a cafe in that gym for 6 years as a pot wash, then a barista, did a little bit of cooking in there. But before I worked in that gym, I had no idea personal training was a thing. I didn't know that existed. And when I was 14, I lacked a lot of confidence as a young boy trying to figure out the world in high school and everything else. And so when I got that job at 14, again, lacked confidence, and I then first discovered what personal training was. Like it was a career as a profession, and it blew my mind because when I worked in this Virgin Active gym, it was at a time when personal trainers were seen as it was just seen as like a nothing job. It was almost like a joke of a job. It wasn't being taken seriously at all. And so the people that were working as personal trainers at the time were there because they loved the craft. And the particular gym that I worked at, the Virgin Active, it was a leisure club. And the PTs in there were at the peak of their game. They were some of the best PTs around. And so at 14, I fell in love with the career. I then idolized these PTs there for years because they became a real inspiration for me and aspiration for me, especially someone that lacked confidence, because I obviously found the gym at the time that built confidence, and then I realized that you can actually help other people do the same thing. I was like, oh my god, this is like amazing, like literally life changing. And so when I was 14, I committed in my mind there, and then this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. That was 20 years ago. And so while I was working there for 6 years, I became friends with these PTs. Of course, I was there working 2-3 days a week, near enough every single week. I then started to train with the PTs. They then started to educate me on training, nutrition, how to get in shape. Then eventually they started telling me about how to run a coaching business, how to speak to people on a gym floor, how to program for people, how to actually get results out of people, how to sell yourself, and everything that goes with it. So I had like this 6 years of mentoring essentially from 15 other PTs within that gym. And so that's where it all started for me. Like for me, in my mind, the entirety of the personal training, coaching, and fitness industry is based around helping other people. That is the foundation of it. That is my sole belief about the fitness industry. And that's carried through for me over the past 20 years. That's why I became a PT, to help other people. And long story short, I then became a PT, worked in a gym. I then became an online coach. I then got asked to help in a business mentorship to help other coaches, which was ideal for me because I remember on my first month in an in-person gym as a PT, I was wrongly under the assumption, because you got to remember when I was working in Virgin Active, I saw all these PTs here. Yeah, they were like pinnacle PT. They were like gold standard PTs. And so in my mind, I'm like, right, this is what PTs do. Like, this is what they are, right? That was my image of it. And that's what I grew up believing and use as a blueprint to what PT should be. And then when I stopped working there for 6 years, I then went and did other jobs, went to university, went to college, traveled the world. And so I didn't really have the same experience anymore. And I still had this vision in my mind. So when I actually became a PT in person, I then get exposed to realities of what the PT industry was like. Like when I was younger, I was fortunate enough to be put into that particular room, which was like cream of the crop. And so fortunately for me, I was there. But then unfortunately, I got a really warped view of what the rest of the industry looked like. Like with any industry, you've got like the top 10%, you've got like the bottom 10%, and then you've got the rest in the middle of just like mediocre. And so when I started working in a budget gym, I looked around and I was like, these PTs are nothing like what a PT is supposed to be in my mind, right? And so immediately I was like, someone should be helping these people become what I envision a PT to be, which is this aspirational figure, someone that's dedicated to the job, someone that's in it for the love of helping other people. And so that did play in my mind in the first month of being a PT. And then leads me on, fortunately, I then got asked to work in a business mentorship to help other coaches and PTs. And I was like, I can't not do this. Like, I was thinking about this years before when I saw that first month in a gym. So I was like, 100% great opportunity. And for me, it was like, right, if I help PTs, that's then going to help them with their clients. And so I'm having this like compounding effect of help. So I'm still helping people as a byproduct of helping PTs. And so that story there just sort of highlights the fact that for me, it's only ever been about help. It's only ever been about support. It's only ever been about raising other people up. But what I have seen now since 2020 with COVID, before 2020, being a PT again was coming out of the being seen as kind of like a joke job and not a real job, people sort of picking up onto it. But because of COVID, online coaching then completely blew up. People made some quick money doing it, and then it's now the thing, right? We're now in 2026. It's 6 years later, and it's now the thing to do, yeah. Because it's now all about making money. Like, people have now completely lost what it means to work in this industry and work in this job. And for me, it's there's two parts to this, right? I'm almost grieving what I knew personal training to be, and part of me is like, do I even want to be in this industry anymore because of that? Because it's not what it was anymore. But then there's another part of me that is much stronger, that sits in me, that thinks, well, if I'm in this industry still, that means that there are still people that view the industry for the right reasons, according to my values. And so it's almost, I don't want to say this word in the sense of I'm like righteous in any way, shape or form, but it's almost like I feel like it's my duty and responsibility to continue being in this industry to make sure that the right people, again, based on my values, are still in this industry, and it doesn't just get rife with snake oilsmen and grifters just trying to make money, because so many people get done over in this industry, clients, coaches. There still needs to be the other side of the coin, right? Because we know now, and if you're watching this, you're a coach, you're a PT, you've seen what I've seen. You now know that every time you're on Instagram, you're getting ads, you're getting there's a new mentor that's just popped out of the woodwork out of completely nowhere. There's coaches left, right and center. Like, you can't get away from them. And so if you are watching this, you'll have similar values to me, I'm assuming, is that you're in this for the right reasons. You have the same vision of what coaching and personal training is as myself. And so this is just me saying that part of me is slowly falling out of love with the industry for what it is now becoming, but equally, I also feel like it's our responsibility and duty to remain in the industry, to do right by the people that still need help and still need support, which is every single client out there still. And so there are things that I say and do in my marketing, and things that I will do and will say in my marketing, which I know for a fact from a marketing perspective are probably going to go against my favor in some regards, but then in other regards go massively in my favor, because I want to be the counterweight to what's currently going on in the industry right now. For example, I'm a big believer that the pendulum always swings back the other way. You know, the closest example I can think of this is Andrew Tate, for example, right? You've got, currently in the world, you've got a massive feminism movement on one side of the scale, but then the other side of the scale, there needs to be a counterweight for that, and that counterweight, I believe, is Andrew Tate. Like, that's the counterweight, right? There's always an opposing force, equal and opposite to what's going on, and so people like us, I think, need to be the opposing force to it, because otherwise things will get taken over too far in the other way. And I think that'd be a real shame for this industry, because health and fitness is the most important thing in the world, right? Like, your health is the most important thing. And so people that are buying into us need to be treated in a way that they're giving us their trust and their money. And we need to make sure we're providing what it is we're saying we're going to do around supporting people and not just trying to make money out of people. Because there's this whole £10,000 gold standard monthly revenue goal in the fitness industry right now that is complete rubbish, by the way. I made a reel about this yesterday, saying that £10,000 a month is the same as 10,000 steps. It only came about because it was a Japanese company that in the 60s had a pedometer, which is a step counter that they were trying to sell to people. So they just came up and fabricated an arbitrary number, which is 10,000 steps, or hit 10,000 steps, hit 10,000 steps. All they need, if you thinking that's a real goal for whatever reason, in order for them to sell you a pedometer to track this arbitrary goal that they have made up for you. And the same applies with mentors now. £10,000 a month they have made up because they think this is like a fancy number. Or as someone has commented on my reel, this is the first key milestone financially in your business. According to who? According to who? Mentors that are trying to sell you this goal of £10,000 a month. Your goal is your goal. Your goal, it can be £5,000, it can be £1,000, it can be 20,000, whatever it is. But £10,000 is not anything. It's just something somebody has made up. And the problem with £10,000 as well is that you'd be far better off earning £7,500 a month financially from a tax perspective, because as soon as you enter the VAT threshold, you're then paying far more tax, and then you'd be less better off than you were at £7,500. So you'd have to earn significantly more than 10,000 to counteract the tax that you've lost from the 7,500 to 10,000. No one talks about that, do they? Nobody mentions that, because £10,000, that's the goal. It's not the goal. It's really not the goal. You'd be better off at £7,500 or like £12,500, for example. So 10,000 is a load of bollocks. But this is just a little bit of a chat with you, just to let you know where I am. First podcast as well. I'm going to try more of these. Don't know about this being a mind or not in the future. It's alright, feels alright. Feels like freely moving it, which is fine. But yeah, I'm still here. I'm going to be here for a long time because we need people like us, right? So appreciate you tuning into the first one, and I'll see you later.